Hey guys, Stag, Wolf and Stag Wastelanders. So I know it's been a couple of weeks since I did another video, or a week or two. Can't really remember. A lot of stuff going on in my life, a lot of stuff going on at work. A lot of stuff that I don't want to talk about here or bring up. Just know that I had a lot of severe tooth pain and was kind of out of it for a few days. But I wanted to do a video about the stuff going on right now, particularly the fact that invaders have been given our Second Amendment right, or have been given the Second Amendment by a Obama-appointed judge, and how that actually is a very bad idea. So stay tuned, and I'll go into it. So if you guys haven't been living under a rock, you know that recently, this week actually, a Obama-appointed judge just granted the right of illegal invaders to have the Second Amendment. Now, there's a lot of libertarians going on there saying that it's an inherent right, and it is. It is an inherent right. However, it's not an inherent right when you've invaded our country. These same people talk about their property rights and talk about the government should staff their property, and yet they're the same people who immediately say that there's an imaginary line between the two nations, between the United States and Mexico. And the problem with that is then your property line is an imaginary line between the state and you, or between you and your neighbors. It's just an imaginary line. I'm not for this. I'm not for saying that illegal invaders can now get guns and be able to go out and commit their crimes. We've seen the crimes that they've committed thus far, up to and including attacking police officers in New York City. We've all seen the rampant invasion across the border, where they tore down barricades and such and attacked National Guardsmen. So if you don't believe that this is an invasion, and let's just be real here, about 85% of those men are military, or 85% of those people crossing the southern border are military-aged males. And as anyone knows, women and children, if you're fleeing oppression, women and children come with you. If you're going to war, the women and children stay at home. And that's what this is. This is a war. So I'm going to try to be as politically correct as I can be, but everybody knows I'm not a politically correct person. The situation is simple. By allowing them to be armed, by allowing your enemy to be armed, you're creating a bad situation within your own nation. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that this is a bad idea. This is bad on all fronts. Okay? We're talking about people who are military-aged men, and some of them clearly, when they're being captured by Border Patrol and National Guard, they stand at parade arrest, indicating that they have some sort of military or paramilitary training. This can only lead to bad things happening within this country. It's obvious. So I understand the concept of allowing everyone to be armed, and I understand the spirit of the Second Amendment. But there was also in 1797, around the same time, or 1798 maybe, that there was the Aliens Act, which was the first Border Control Act. So if you want to look at the historical context, the founders knew it was a bad idea to allow people into this country who had nefarious ideas, who were criminals, to come in and invade. It was asking for an invasion of this nation. And those of you celebrating this as a victory, you're not looking at the fact that most of these guys are military, most of these people crossing that border are military-aged males. Most of them crossing the northern border are military-aged males. if you're not seeing that this is part of the globalist agenda, or part of whatever you want to call it, controlled by people I can't mention, you're seeing that this is a bad idea, or you're not seeing that this is a bad idea, when it happens, it's already too late. It's too late for me to help you. So my advice to every armed, or every concerned citizen, because at the same time this went on, we had $1.2 trillion given away. My thing to every citizen, concerned citizen and prepared citizen, is to have your kit ready. Have your kit at the ready. Be proficient in the use of your kit. Be proficient in the use of your arms. Train up, pack up, stack up, and rack up, because it's about to get bad. You need to be ready for the violence that's going to come, and there is going to be violence, because a nation without borders is not a nation at all. And those of you saying that, you know, anarchy and this and that would totally solve this problem, no, it wouldn't. There'd be violence. There'd be far more violence. We don't need a police state, but we do need police officers. We don't need a military state, but we do need the military. And that's what the founders had established in the Constitution. If you read the Federalist and Anti-Federalist papers, there's all sorts of documentation in there talking about the protection of the state. And what is the protection of the state? Protection of the state is the protection of the people that live within that geographical area known as the state. We're not talking about, you know, the government being in your business to where, you know, you can't do private sales. And I'm going to do a video on that whole other topic with what happened to the Clintons, or the guy that ran the Bill and Hillary Regional Airport or whatever. But the ideas of coming at this from a standpoint of, oh, this is a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's not going to eliminate the NFA. It's not going to eliminate anything illegal. It's going to add fuel to them, to the anti-gunners, to push for more gun control. As illegals commit crimes, and we've been seeing a lot of them lately, we're going to add fuel to that fire. And that's where the situation is for me. You can't sit here and tell me that that this is a good idea. It's not. You're essentially inviting this foreign invading military into our nation and into our society, and letting them be armed, letting them prey upon innocent civilians. I'm not for gun control. I never have been. But this is going to bring in more draconian gun control. This is allowing the situation to deteriorate further. We're already collapsing. Rome is burning. And I don't want, and if I know I'm going to get some idiot in the comments again, because I always do when I say that the country's collapsing. We're $34 trillion in debt. We just approved another $1.2 trillion. Our dollar, inflation is up. Inflation was transitory, and then inflation was non-existent, and now we have articles in the newspaper talking about how inflation's a good thing. It's not. These are talking points of politicians who don't have our best interests, and who don't care about this nation and about the citizens that live within this nation. So this is another thing that a politician who doesn't care about this nation, and someone ruling from a bench, doesn't care about the citizens of this country. This is just another thing to add to the collapse of this nation, because in their mindset, America was never great. But these are my thoughts on the situation. I'll just get down to it. We're going to head for bad times. And as Risky Krisky, and I'm sure I'm not allowed to say that guy's name or whatever on YouTube, but I'll say it as he says all the time in Rumble videos and in YouTube videos, it's going to get worse before it gets much, much worse. And those are the facts. So plan accordingly, prepare accordingly, have your preps in order, have yourself conditioned, have your equipment ready. Don't go on the offensive. be on the defensive. Don't do anything that would violate state and federal law at this point, because we still live within rule of law. Though I believe the time that is fastly approaching for the end of it. Get yourself right with whatever creator you believe in, whatever gods, goddesses, God you believe. Get yourself right with them. Because weak men create hard times, and those hard times are coming, and it's going to take strong men to create good times. So as always, guys, this has been Stag with Wolf and Stag Wastelanders. And at this point, I will see you in the wasteland.